Welcome to EIPIP meeting 50. I have just shared agenda in the chat. The first item listed here is EIP editor onboarding. So for the past few months, we have been running this EIP editors apprenticeship program to onboard few more reviewers to help out with the EIP editing process, especially on the standard track ERC proposals. And the good news is we have received good responses and possible candidates who have been contributing on the standard track core and ERC proposals. In the last meeting, Micah brought up that we can discuss onboarding of these candidates because some of them have been contributing for quite a few months now. I know we have discussed this in the past, but I suppose we can probably agree on the candidate name and decide on the next steps.
And like I said last time, I would love to get some more editors formally on board.
Right, I totally agree. And I know, like client, you have been facilitating these meetings. And from my experience, one of the name is prominent over there, that is William Schwab. So I would like to propose him to be like formally onboarded. And if you have any thoughts, suggestions, recommendation on that.
Sounds great to me.
As far as I can tell, William is a human and does not immediately appear to be a bad person. So passes all my checks.
Yeah, right. He is human for sure. I haven't met him in person, but I have seen his face sometimes in some meetings. So I can vouch for that. Well, in the past, like how we did the onboarding process was we tried to get some accesses in the EIP GitHub repository for the EIP editor to be working. But I understand now many things have changed since then. So I would be looking into what would be the minimum requirement, what would be the like minimum steps that we need to formally onboard these people. And if there is any action item for me that I need to talk to someone, I'll be happy to do that.
Just the person just needs to submit a pull request to add their name to the, I'll find the link, but there's a file that has which editors have rights to approve. They submit a PR to that, and then the current existing editors will review it and approve it, and that's it.
That sounds simple. So I don't see any action item on my part, except we need to communicate it to William Schwab maybe to get his name added so he can also start getting notifications. Okay, let's begin with this. And I know there is another name, Sam Wilson. He has recently started getting more involved, and he has been looking into core as well as ERCs as well. What do people think? Do we need to start for that as well right now, or we can probably wait for a couple of more months?
Sam also does a good job at pretending to be human, and also does a good job at pretending to be a good person. So I'm fine with that.
Any thoughts, Matt? I know we do not have all of the present EIP editors. Yeah.
If you can reach out to both of them, assuming Matt's okay with Sam as well. I know maybe we should interpret Matt silent as he really doesn't like Sam very much.
I don't know, I love Sam. Sorry, I was away from the mic for a moment.
If you can reach out to William and Sam and have them go to that link and submit a PR to add their names to, or their GitHub handles rather, to any one or more of those lines they're interested in helping with. Then the editors will review it, and if everybody's in agreement, it'll get merged, and then from that point on, they will be able to approve PRs, and then the PRs will be auto-merged on that approval. doesn't require me or Matt anymore.
Well, that sounds good to me as well. I will reach out to both of them, and the process seems simple. As of now, I do not see any other action item, not on my part and not on like DevOps part. So let's begin with this. And if there is any issue or kind of not having consensus, which I doubt, highly doubt, then we will bring this topic in the next meeting. Any final comment before we move on? I'll assume no. The next item listed here is a yellow paper fix, remove EIP 1706. So this item has been picked from the EAT R&D Discord chat, where Exit suggested that yellow paper should be updated. Someone from the community brought up that a proposal EIP 1706 is added there, which is currently now in withdrawn status. So yeah, this sounds fair to me. Just wanted to bring up to here if there is any different thought, and a question maybe who can update it, or if anyone from the group is willing to pick it up.
I actually have no idea how to update the yellow paper.
If I remember correctly, for one of the core proposals, which was supposed to be updated, I mean, like I know that was merged in clients, and the yellow paper was updated for that. Andrew from the Erigon team had created some pull requests. I remember this because he mentioned this in one of the PEEP meetings. So probably he may be the right person, but yeah, I'm not sure. Anyone else has any ideas or thoughts around how this things work, or yellow paper being updated?
I think it's just a matter of downloading the required LaTeX infrastructure for your computer and then making the change. I'm not sure who merges those though, actually, now I think about it.
Okay, I just remember the proposal number. I think it was 3607, which is now in final status. That was the proposal which was supposed to update the yellow paper as well, to bring some changes. Okay, maybe just a simple question. Is it okay if I reach out to Andrew and follow up with him to get this thing updated, or anyone from the EIP editors would like to own this task?
I think it's fine to talk to Andrew.
I do not want to own this task.
In this case, both are the right answers. Thank you so much. Well, okay, fine. I will get in touch with Andrew and try to get this thing updated. But I assume that there is no contradiction on EIP 1706 to be removed from there, because the current status of this proposal is withdrawn. All right, I now see Sam Wilson on the call. Welcome, Sam. And we just missed you as we were discussing. For you to be a future EIP editor, and as an action item, probably for you, from the first item, EIP editor onboarding is if you are interested and if you want to contribute as an EIP editor, Micah has shared a link in which you might want to create a pull request to get your name added, so you start getting the pings for every pull request that comes into the EIP GitHub repository.
Great. Okay. That's in the agenda, or?
I think it was in the chat. I'm gonna ping it again because you joined recently, so you might have missed that link.
Yeah, sorry, I'm late. Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem. All right.
Add your name to any one of those lines, and join us in hell.
Sounds fun. I will.
More the merrier. I hope you guys will have good time there. All right, moving on to the next item. It's EIP bot issues update. I have added to the link to the EIP bot GitHub repository, though I haven't seen any new changes or pull requests over there, but we have Shashank on the call. So I'm not sure, Shashank, if you have any update to share on the EIP bot side, please feel free.
Yeah, so I see that the EIP bot issues are only mentioning the bot that is related to what Alita created, but we also have the EIP validator bot, and it also has a couple of issues, open. So I'm not sure if we are also including these in the agenda to talk about. Just a bit
yeah.
of clarification.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Going forward, I will be also adding about EIPV issues as well. So yeah, if you have any update, please.
Sure. So I noticed that Alpha Key has already picked up a couple of issues and he's trying to work on the EIP hyphen bot. So I'm thinking of picking up the EIP validator bot and resolve a couple of issues. I do have some questions regarding one or two issues. I'm not sure if we are open to if the floor is open to ask questions regarding that. Will that be fine?
I hope so. We have editors here, so I hope
Yep.
your question should be answered here.
Yeah. So I think the main one is that discussion regarding have we formed the consensus around that we should have the discussions to pointing to Ethereum magicians, because I saw comments again on the EIPV issue that was raised. Some account named Arachnid commented, and also Micah was part of that discussion.
Yeah, I believe we are I believe everybody who is an active editor is in agreement. This, of course, is a very different set of people than all the people in the world, and we are not in agreement with all the people in the world. But I think we are in agreement with all the active editors.
All right. So I think so regarding that, what would happen to the issues that or the EIPs that didn't have discussion to in the previous? Like, so have we thought of
So-
yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
We don't currently have any plans to migrate existing issues. So existing issues that already have, or sorry, existing EIPs that already are using GitHub or Twitter or Reddit or whatever for their discussion, we'll continue to have that for the time being. This would only be validating
The new
new
ones.
EIPs going forward.
Okay, so the new EIPs also include the current pull requests that haven't been merged. Would that be correct in the assumption?
Yeah, so any non-final EIP would probably fall under this rule. If there's an EIP that has a whole lot of discussion already in a different place, it's probably fine, but I would say we can just override when that happens. Like there might be one or two that are going to get grandfathered in, and we can have one of the admins, which would be Matt or I, override in that case.
Okay, I think somebody suggested.
So for the
yep. Good. Yeah, please go ahead.
For the sake of the bot, I would say have the bot be very for the sake of the bot, have the bot be very strict. So if there is an EIP that is getting checked by the bot, which should be any EIP that is currently has a pull request against it, then have the bot validate that. Okay.
So I think in one of the issue, AXIC already mentioned a solution. His suggestion was to ignore. He suggested two rules. One was basically ignore it for anything marked final, superseded, or abandoned. And the second rule was add an explicit exclusion list for EIPs. That is a way to disable this check for a set of EIPs and include those which are missing it currently but are merged.
I'm also okay with either of those solutions.
Okay.
Those solutions that Alex proposed are more robust than the one I proposed. The one I proposed is very easy. So it depends if you feel you have the time and capacity to implement Alex's solutions. I do think those are better. If we have to choose between doing nothing and doing my solution, then I would
sure
pick my solution.
Sure. Makes sense. Okay, that's there. So Matt, there was this issue opened called remove updated. Will it be fine if I share my screen so it's easy for everyone to kind of view?
Sure.
Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. Can you guys see my screen?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, could you talk a little bit more about this issue? I kind of didn't understand. This EIP should not be allowed in with updated. So when I open this issue, it points to this one.
Yeah, so there is a very constrained set of fields that are allowed in the header, and updated is not one of them. And so I
Oh.
don't know if the validator currently validates that there are no extraneous fields. I don't think it does, but it should. So the validator should, when it's checking, should make sure that there are no fields in the header besides the ones that are official fields.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I think that'll wait. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that is from the one of the recent pull requests. It's a new proposal, fairly new proposal that had that additional field. And we were wondering, like, it would be nice to have the bot validating it, and I should not auto merge that.
And we currently only ask the EIP authors to follow the specific fields that are like in the given in the EIP1 spec, right? Or are they allowed to add any additional sections?
No, so the sections and the header field should all match what is in the spec. Within a section, things are a little more loose, but the top level section, so things that start with 2 pound signs, and then everything in the header, which is between those three dashes, those are very, very strict. And the more we can get the bot to check those 2 sets of things, the better. Right now, the editors basically manually read and check to see there's no extra sections and there's no extra header fields, but we very often miss.
Okay, I just remembered there was, I think, two other issues that I'd like to discuss. One was there was this. Let me just share the screen again. So there was this issue pulled by EXIC that's to kind of check whether these links within the EIPs are matching correctly or not. Are you guys aware about this issue?
Yeah, so it's another thing that would be great to have the validator check. It doesn't currently, but the EIPs should always be in the form EIP dash and then some number of numbers, not starting with a 0. So like the regex would be EIP dash and then any number of numbers, first one not being 0.
Got it.
So 1 through 9 followed by /D plus or star rather. Anyway, so yeah, so anytime there's a link to another EIP, and this is the tricky part, is going to be identifying where there's a link to an EIP. That's a little more complicated.
Yep.
But anytime there is a link to another EIP, it should use. Sorry, anytime there's another a reference to another EIP, it should use that form, and it should be hyperlinked using relative path, so /EIP dash number dot MD. It would be awesome if the bot could catch all of the places that it's broken. Again, this is one of those things that if there's an easy solution that catches 90%, that's better than no solution. So don't, if you decide you wanted to follow up on this, don't get bogged down trying to get it perfect. Like maybe the simple solution is to just look for the common ones, like the one Alex mentioned here. So he lists a set of common formats. Maybe just search for those formats and fix them only. Don't worry about trying to find every single EIP mention. Also, I think that Pooja may remember in a recent meeting we discussed whether we should always use the EIP and not ERC. Did we come to a conclusion on that?
Yeah, we have updated the EIP1 for that. So for there, the number is like EIP-20. It's not ERC-20.
Okay, so yeah, so in that issue from Alex, just make note that ERC-NNNN is not allowed, only EIP-NNNN. And that was, I believe, per a previous discussion we had in this call.
In a similar context, if I may ask to look into the EIP number 1706, Shashank, while you are sharing screen, would it be possible for you to go to eips.ethereum.org and just take out the EIP 1706? So here, when we see into look into the withdrawal reason, I see the format is not working. I remember that this thing was working earlier, but it seems like something has broken. Anyone has any idea like why is it not reflecting the correct? I mean, why is it not properly structured? Not that one, withdrawal reason.
My guess is because that's the header isn't rendered with markdown render. If I just had to take a wild guess, and because of that, it's not rendering properly. So the place for someone who's interested in tackling this issue, the place to check would be github.com/ethereum/eips, and then under, I want to say under _layouts is where it's going to be. Or maybe index.html. Anyways, in that repository is where all of this, the rendering happens. Yeah, okay, so if you, I'll drop a link. So if you go there to that link I just pasted, you can see it's escaping the withdrawal reason. And so fixing this is not going to be simple, I suspect.
Is withdrawal reason a valid field?
Yeah.
Maybe that is the reason.
No, the withdrawal reason is a valid field. We added it not terribly long ago.
I remember discussion on this, but I wasn't sure that this is the case. I probably didn't see this withdrawal reason in any other withdrawal EIP, withdrawn EIPs.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so fixing it is going to be a pain. The fundamental issue is that it's not markdown. We could make the withdrawal reason markdown, but I don't know how to do that. So this would be a research project to figure out how the GitHub markdown or how the Jekyll, which I believe is markdown, the renderer we're using, how does Jekyll render stuff, and how do you tell it to render some set of text as markdown? Yeah.
All right, maybe in the sense of time, this the best next step for this would be kind of creating an issue, and maybe then we can explore the reason. And if we get there, then probably the team can look into fixing it.
Yeah, so definitely create an issue for it. It is a bug. It's just, I'm guessing it's going to be more difficult to solve than most of the other problems we have. And so I would recommend prioritizing the other things over it, since it's relatively minor.
Sounds fair.
Yeah, that will be it, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you, Shashank. If we can also like just create an issue for the bug that we just discussed for EIP 1706, that would be nice.
Sure.
Like,
yep.
All right, thank you. Moving on, the next item is execution specs. I know Sam has another meeting and he just left. I'm not sure if we have anyone else on this call has any update on execution specs right now. Maybe going forward, I will try to keep it in earlier items so we can get to there. The next item listed here is EIP's Insight. The link to the EIP Insight is added in the agenda. As of now, we have 4 new proposals. And the latest one, which was also discussed in the all core dev meeting, is EIP 4788, that is Beacon State Route in the EVM. That is one of the most discussed proposal and possibly will be getting a place in Shanghai, not decided yet, but it is under discussion. Other than that, we have 3 proposals moved to final and 4 proposals are moved to review status. The new proposal, those have been added to the review status, is EIP 4399, a supply difficulty opcode, which is there for the March. And there is this another proposal, 4803, limit transaction gas limit. This proposal is also a core proposal, and it is not supposed to be a part of any upgrade that has to be implemented in the client asynchronously. So yeah, that's another one to look into. I mentioned it in the last call. There is one proposal that recently changed its type from informational to standard track. That is EIP 2098, and rest all information are added on the EIP's Insight document that is added to the agenda. Next item is EIP Editors Apprenticeship Meeting. The video link is missing here, but the video is published. We had this meeting yesterday, and we discussed about a proposal that is currently in a draft form as in pull request. The number is 4505. The authors of the proposal were also present in the meeting, and they had some questions. We tried to, like the EIP editors tried to answer that. Talking about this particular pull request, I remember reading a comment about the proposed standard. So it appears that there is similar standard available, not in EIP's category, but I was just wondering, out of curiosity, I understand that it would not be possible for us to like make sure that everything that is coming up new, especially in the ERC category, we would be able to validate if there is something existing already in some form of standard. Just wondering if any EIP editor has thought about how do we make sure that a standard here is a standard that is not earlier added to the repository.
I mean, it's a hard problem. The best chance we have at that is that when an editor goes to review it, they're the most likely ones who will have seen something similar before, and they can, like, if they notice that this is a duplicate or something similar to another one, they'll, at least I will usually tell the person, hey, this looks a lot like EIP, blah, blah, blah. You want to check that out before merging this. That being said, it is okay. Like, people are allowed to submit duplicates. In fact, if there's a strong enough disagreement between 2 parties about how an EIP should move forward, one of the recommendations for resolution that we give people is that they should both just create their own EIP and operate separately. And in such a case, those EIPs will be duplicates of each other, basically. So there's no fully automated solution for this that I can think of that doesn't involve like designing a revolutionary artificial intelligence. And so I think just best guess of editors or best effort of editors is all we've got.
That's yeah, probably the right solution. And I'm sorry, I suppose I'm said the wrong pull request number. The correct one is 4671. I have shared the link in the chat here. Okay. That sounds fair. That would be the recommendation for new editors looking into it, the apprentice editors looking into these proposals. The next item listed here is other topics, other discussion topics, which are referred here. I think these are the items suggested by William in Trican. He did make some pull requests, and I see that that is merged now. And I'm not sure in one of the past meetings or to an earlier communication to me, he did mention that he would probably want to come up to these meetings and talk about rest of the issues that he has added, though I don't see him on the call. So I'm going to drop it for now. And maybe we will bring it back whenever he is available, or he would specially request for bringing this back to the discussion. Going for the review action items from the previous meeting, I know there was this one that I'm supposed to talk to FEM team about the limited editing window. I have pinged the team, but I'm waiting for response, probably because of East Denver, people were really busy there. So, and most of them are traveling, so I'm not sure they got the chance to look into it, but I will try to follow up with them again, and hopefully we should have something in the next meeting to share with the people. That's all on the items listed here. Anyone has anything to bring up or any new discussion points for the upcoming meetings?
Nothing from me.
If there's nothing, then probably we can assume this is going to be one of the shorter call. Well, thank you, everyone. And as usual, I would request the people, if there is any question or any concern related to EIP process, or anything in general that might require editor's attention, please feel free to add in the comment section of agenda for the next meeting, so we can bring it to the discussion. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a good day, everyone.